from the Metal Gods Meltdown. And I have with me Brett from American Anyman. Thanks for taking the time to have this interview.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late. Good to see you again.
Yeah, no worry. I love your new video, the Fentanyl Death Kit. How pleased are you with the feedback from the media and fans so far?
Yeah, I'm pleased. I always wish more people have seen it, and hopefully they will. The video was just made with a cell phone and just shot in like probably 2 hours maybe. And the video is just sort of like a way for people to hear the song on YouTube and read the lyrics. So I put the lyrics in the video because I thought it would be important. So I hope people like it.
I certainly do. So
You did? Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I really love the. Well, it's good that you put the lyrics in it. Then people can understand what it's all about.
Right.
Yeah. Your new LP album, Cities Changing Names, is scheduled for release on June the 10th, and it's your 12th studio album. How stressful was it to make this album?
It was not stressful. It was enjoyable. The reason it was so enjoyable was because it was the first album I've ever done it as a like a true heavy metal album with electric guitars. Because in the past it was like I kept trying to make really heavy music and I was using acoustic guitars, and when you play it live, the acoustic music I was playing, it comes across really heavy, but it never really translated when I was making albums. So when people would see us live, they would say, oh, that's influenced by metal heavy music. But when you'd hear us on the recordings, no one really picked that up. So when I was making this album, I knew right away it sounded like metal. So it was like, you know, kind of like something I've always wanted to do. So it was a lot of work. I mixed it all and tracked the guitars, vocals, but it wasn't a pain at all. It was good.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
What do you guys want your fans to know about you that they might not know already?
I think sometimes I wish some people that maybe saw the video, heard the album, that have similar interests would reach out maybe more, because I feel like sometimes people think, oh, they have something going on. Oh, they live in New York City. They have a record label. They have shows. We can't approach them. And I think a lot of opportunities of meeting people is kind of lost in that. And I do it too. I'm afraid to reach out to people because I think, oh, they're hooked up with some record label or some touring agency, like, oh, they don't want to hear from me. And so I think I'd like to hear from more people because I want to play more shows. I want more opportunities, and I'd like to like work with people that are like similar minded, especially in the show front, like playing shows. So I think people should know that like we are looking to interact, not standing away or something.
Yeah. Well, maybe after this interview, who knows?
Yeah.
What would you do if the audience looked bored during your performance?
I don't think I would. I don't think there's anything to do. I think if they're bored, it's boring for them. Some people are bored because they don't like for instance, if I went to a jazz show,
Mm-hmm.
I might say, oh, I appreciate what they're doing, but I don't really like jazz, so I might be bored. So I don't know if the jazz musician at that point could do anything unless they stop playing jazz. So I think if people were bored, they're bored. I've never had that, as far as I can tell. I have had people not like it, which is different than bored. I've had people in mass leave venues. I've had people get angry at the people on the stage, whether they were drunk or didn't like a specific song. So I've dealt with that, but I don't think I've ever dealt with being bored, and I don't think I would do anything different. I think I would just probably just keep playing.
Yeah, or hit it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have to listen. If you were an instrument, what would you be and why?
Oh yeah, I remember. I would be the drum machine that they used on the early Run DMC albums, like King of Rock and the first album, in fact, too. Like the drum machine, I really like that drum machine. It's got some cool sounds. Some of them are like spooky and like really early 80s sounding. Others are like really hard hitting kick drum sound. So I think I would pick that.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about being a musician?
I think the whole starting a project and finishing the project is the whole thing is enjoyable, but I think the most enjoyable is the first month or so where I realized that there's a project I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual mundane work hasn't set in. The actual sitting down and having to like dot the I's and cross the T's hasn't set in. And so for that first month, you're kind of like excited. You're putting things in place so that it can work in the financial constraints that you have, and putting things in place so they can work with the time frame you have. And at that point, it's really exciting. You know, a couple weeks later, it starts to be real. Like, oh, I really started this. Now I have to finish it. And I tend to have to do almost everything because of the financial situation, you know, that we don't have really any backing. So it becomes a lot of work, which I don't mind. But I think that my favorite part is the conceptualizing projects in the beginning stages.
Okay. What's the story behind the band name?
The story behind the band name is that a long time ago, in the very late 80s, early 90s, when I was young, I had a friend and he had a video camera, and we filmed all of our like adventures as kids. When we would go out, we would just film random stuff, getting in trouble, and we would edit films. Yeah. And we would put them on years later. When we were in high school, we would put the edited version of these videos on during parties, like high school parties. And so people would like kind of like be partying and having fun, and then we put it on, and it was like a movie, you know. It was, people loved it. It was crazy. The whole house would be like, you know, yelling and screaming. And the videos in my mind were like kind of little snapshots of America, where I grew up. And so I called it American Mix, the videotape. But I forget even how, but somehow I wrote it wrong or something, and it looked like it said American Anyman, and I thought that was a good name. So then I changed the name of the video edits to American Anyman. And later, when I started making music, the music project was just a continuation of that original art project, of the video, because the music was soundtracks to the video. And so I just used the name. And then when I came to start playing live, people had names, band names, and I just said, oh, that's my band name, that's obvious. And that's how it stuck.
Okay, nice. Have you ever played at a wedding or a public party?
I've never played a wedding, but I have played many public parties. I've played house parties. I've played loft parties in Brooklyn. I've played Halloween parties on Staten Island. I've played New Year's Eve parties. I've played outside at Tompkins Square Park, Central Park, all sorts of outside type party things. And as far as like playing house shows, they tend to be really good. I think that it's easier to get people to go to a house party show than just a regular show. And I think because people feel more relaxed and they feel like they're more part of the thing. It's not just them seeing something. They actually feel like they have a part in the whole event. So I really like those.
When you head out on tour,
Mm-hmm.
what's the most important item you take with you?
Oh yeah. When I go out, the most important thing is my music, like my access to my music. So I'll bring my headphones and how I play my music, and I gotta listen. I do literally have to listen to music every day. It's like fanatical for some reason. So I would see that being a major problem if I didn't bring that.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of music or song do you enjoy most then?
Right now I'm listening to the 6 Feet Under album called Torment, which is from 2017, and it's super cool. It literally has like no melodies really. It has no guitar solos. It's all rhythm, and it's like super one-dimensional. I love it. It sounds like a maze of rhythm, and I listen to that a lot lately. I also listen to the new Ministry album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. What about festivals and tours planned for the rest of this year or next year?
Well, the band was out of commission for a while because people were affected by like the pandemic and all that shit. So the shows lately have just been solo shows, me playing. So it's not exactly, I haven't been playing the music that's on the new album, but the band is in rehearsal right now to play those new songs, and should be ready soon. As far as touring and festivals, it's something that like is my dream to get back on the road and play, but I need the correct like infrastructure around that. I don't want to do self-organized tours where you like crash on people's houses so much anymore. So I would need some sort of infrastructure. As far as a festival, like that's the best case scenario, and I would play any festival that made sense. I would love to do that.
If one of your songs could appear on a soundtrack or any film or cult TV series, which one would you choose and why?
I think the shows, the two TV shows I liked the most as far as who used music lately was the Twin Peaks: The Return, the David Lynch show, because he would almost stop the show and just have an artist do like a full performance. It didn't totally make sense as far as the narrative of the show. It was just like a full performance, and it was so strange that I liked it. I would have loved to have done something like that. And then the other one was the Nicholas Winding Refn TV show, which had like an oppressive soundtrack. It was so gloomy and menacing. I would love to be involved in one of his shows. I think he's making a new show right now called Copenhagen Cowboy. So
Well, maybe you can try.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have a quick fire round for you. Vinyl
Okay.
or digital?
Digital.
Rockville or Maryland deathbed?
I'm gonna pick Maryland Death because maybe it has death metal, so that sounds cool.
Wine or beer?
Oh yeah. So I don't drink, but I guess if I had to drink, I would drink a beer, maybe. I don't know, but I haven't drank in ages.
Okay. Denim or leather?
I'll say denim.
Where's your sweatshirt suit?
Oh, I got it on. I got it on, but I'm trying to play fair. I'm trying to play fair.
Oh, nice, nice. Skid Row or Slipknot?
Skid Row.
Okay. Do you have some final words for your listeners and our viewers?
Thank you for doing this interview, and hopefully people will check out the new video that comes out Monday. It's called Expert of Nothing, and it's the second single off the new album on Eclipse Records. And